Welcome back to Straight Facts on Wednesday. The Dom Hussam is here with me. Judge Mo is here, a.k.a. Mo Gender. An action-packed show reviewing last night's humiliation of PSV, one of the greatest nights in English history when it comes to Champions League games. Arsenal winning 7-1. We're taking a look at tonight's massive game between PSG and Liverpool. Also, it's been revealed what Slot said to Michael Oliver. Is it right, wrong? Does it warrant a 2-game or more ban? We want your opinions on that. Plus, Antony slams Ruben Amorim, and are United about to make a big Mainoo mistake? We're talking about all of that on the show today. Hit like buttons and subscribe. But before that, gentlemen, how are you both?
This is a great day. We're here. Straight facts on Wednesday. Most team plays tonight. My team plays tonight. So we look forward to the show. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing. And before anyone asks a dumbass question in the chat, guys, it is post sunset in both Jordan and Egypt. So me and Mo will be drinking water and coffee and stuff like this because it's now we're done with the fasting period. So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny actually. Yeah, I was on the phone to someone in my team, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be a little bit late." I said, "Well," I said, "Oh, the boys are just breaking fast, but the sun's still up." I said, "They're in Egypt in the Middle East." Yes, so I'm like, "Bro, you've got a degree. How are you saying yeah so? Like you shouldn't need to explain time difference, bro."
Yesterday when I was doing the Arsenal watch along, I was drinking water. Some guy came into me, he's like, "Why are you not fasting?" I'm like, bro, it's 11:23 in my time. Like,
even in the summer at that time of night,
I'm half an hour away from midnight.
The sun got down. Yeah, I know, crazy. But look, loads to talk about today. We're going to get into last night's game. We're going to get into Liverpool, and also we're going to be speaking. Are Liverpool really lucky? Because I was talking to some Newcastle fans today, and it turns out for the final in a few weeks that Isak, Hall, Gordon, and Botman might all now be missing. So we're getting on to all of that later in the show. So stay with us. If you're watching the playback, it'll be time-stamped. If you want to go to specific parts of the show, go and do that. I wanted to start with a little bit of Man United, actually, because I just like to get it out of the way quick. But would it be a big Mainoo mistake for the club to offer him what his agents are demanding, which is £180,000 a week?
No. I stated that many times. Mainoo is one of the brightest talents in English football. The problem is he has been playing under Erik ten Hag. And even though he has been playing under Erik ten Hag, still he shined, right? Isn't that proof that he's worth every penny, I actually believe that, you remember I told you, Terry, that Mainoo needs to leave Man United for his development, for his own sake.
Yes.
He got triggered and all this stuff. But the reality is he's so talented, bro. Like, people don't understand. Looking from outside, I know Man United fans want to prop Ahmad and want to prop the others. But Kobbie Mainoo is so talented as a midfielder. He will suit a lot of teams in the world, including the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, Inter, even Barcelona. He might get playing time at Barcelona. He's so talented. People forget that because Kobbie Mainoo started playing when the age of 17, that he's still a teenager. He's not even 20 years old yet. Yet, a lot of people scapegoat him for some mistakes and not blaming the others. So Kobbie Mainoo, without a shadow of a doubt, is worth every penny from the 150K a week that Man United are offering him. And if Man United don't pay him up, I promise you there is plenty of teams out that will pay him that much.
Chelsea wants him, no?
But Sam, this guy is so good, people don't understand. The problem is the guy is shining in a dead Man United team, bro. Like in a dead Man United team. And he's still shining and people still doubting the talent. We told you, Kobbie Mainoo shit. He's not even that good. No, he's fucking great. He's absolutely great. You just don't realize the talent. And bro, Liverpool will take him in a heartbeat. He might start over Szoboszlai, or he might get game time. He's 18. He doesn't have to play 38 games. 150K is very good for him. Listen,
I don't think
Palmer making 150K
offer per se. Like, I think 150 grand a week is fine if you want to tie down one of the, like, a promising youngster for the future. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be honest with you. Like, 150 grand a week is fine as long as you don't overdo it. Now, problem is, like, okay, so if you give him 150 grand a year contract for the next, let's say, 4 years or so, by the time he's 23, if another club is coming in for him, then you're gonna have to pay him a lot more in order to require his services. That's the only thing where it's kind of like an issue maybe for the future, in terms of like him just getting what like, let's say 4 years from now Chelsea want him and they're offering him 250 a week or something like this. You're gonna have a situation where you're gonna have to pay him a lot more than, you know, the average player his age, if you will.
But
And
isn't that okay, Osam? Like, if Chelsea or other team are coming in for him in 4 years, doesn't that mean that he developed to the point that
So
he's
then you're
really
just making
wanting
another
someone else?
Marcus Rashford situation.
Okay,
What's
here
the
this is very, very important.
Tell me the difference.
I'm going to tell you. The difference is actually Marcus Rashford was worth every penny. People talk in hindsight now. People forget when Marcus Rashford broke to the scene, there was talks of him going to Real Madrid, same as Dele Alli, same as other youngsters. You remember that. Marcus Rashford was so talented. Again, we are leaving the problems and focusing on their players. The problem is the Man United environment did not help Marcus Rashford shine. I promise you, with that much talent that Marcus Rashford had at that time, because I remember the hype. Maybe the young people that have short memory don't remember.
You're saying we're talking with hindsight, right? What if hindsight is similar for Mainoo 4 years from now? Then what?
Okay, if Man United in 4 years, let me tell you the problem. If in 4 years Man United are still shit in the same way that they were shit when Marcus Rashford was offered a new contract, Man United have way bigger problems, Hussam, than actual Kobe Mainoo next contract, with all the respect.
Yeah.
Like in 4 years, bro. I think that is the case, it's crazy.
My view on this, when I read it, I do worry about mistakes of the past in terms of overpaying people too young, if they're not working hard, if the attitude isn't right. At the same time, multiple clubs are circulating for him and they will be willing to offer him somewhere. And again, we've got to remember the newspaper report here. That's what they're demanding. Whether they get 180,000 a week as a flat fee is another conversation. I would hope that we could work out some kind of deal where it's 120, 130, 140 with bonuses if we finish in certain league positions to that level. I've always liked Liverpool's model, which incentivizes success, and that grows over time. But I'm not that concerned by it personally. What I do find interesting is that it's gone from the club want to sell him, Man United are crazy from rivals, to he's absolutely nowhere near worth £180,000 a week. So which is it? We were crazy to let him go because he's a super talent, or we've got to pay him the going rate for an incredible talent that the world and his dog wants. And I think Man United fans were often too suckered in by rivals, and we want to sort of, I don't know, sometimes we want like, not appeasement of rivals, but I need to say something so rivals don't come at me. Rivals are always going to be on our necks, whether we're the worst team in England or the best team in England, because we're everybody's biggest rival. And 3 or 4 weeks ago, we're your biggest rival. You were your biggest rival.
Yeah, but you're not Chelsea's biggest rival. You're not Arsenal's biggest rival.
I believe that. The reason why I say we're everybody's biggest rival, or one of, if not the least, is the volume of people that no one sides with us no matter what's going on, and that shows you that. But for me, it's very
I'm an Inter fan and I hate Man United, bro. Like,
but there is nothing that Man United have done over the last like 10 years, 12 years in order for people to side with them.
So he's right. Again, I understand that point of view. What I mean is this: like, there's a super chat that's come in here from a PSG fan. PSG fans have no reason to dislike Man United for any reason. Okay. But he says here, are we going to talk about the reports that Ineos are already planning a replacement for Amorim? Now, I hadn't read those reports today.
What?
And then hang on. And then I found out why I didn't read those reports today. So there's loads of newspapers that are reporting on it. But when you click on the origins, it comes from the newspaper that's called Signings. But in Spanish, I think it's pronounced Fichajes. And you've all seen... Yeah. We've all seen their links. It's the Sun newspaper is 10 times more credible. I have that word muted on my X feed because they just make stuff up. They're not even a Z list, and there's tier ones. They're not even tier 4,000. They're awful. But the point is Le Bleu and Red. If that newspaper, by the way, that newspaper always links us to amazing players, and this is what I mean by we're everybody's biggest rival. Le Red and Blue would ignore that publication if they reported today that Man United were going to sign Barcola in the summer. Yet he'll jump on it like a bitch in heat when it's something negative about Man United. And so, yeah, as I say, and people do that a lot. So, yeah, that's why I haven't spoke about that report, my friend, because it's not that it doesn't fit my agenda. I think that report from, I think you pronounce it, is it Fichajes? I wrote it down here, Fichajes, or however you pronounce it. They are probably the most discreditable media outlet in the world, my friend. So you may have read it on a different website, but it's always first thing I do whenever I see a big report on a kind of, because I read it on fan football. When you see reports on Football Fancast, MSN News, and news outlets like that, I always read through and look for the link to where the originating source was. And as soon as you click on it, it gives you an idea whether to believe it or not. So, yeah, that's why we're not talking about it, my friend. I hope that makes sense. But, yeah, I'm not...
source, basically.
Yeah, but beyond not credible, I literally think they make things up on that website. If you just go onto Twitter now, everyone, or X, take their name, and I'll post their name into the comment section. I'm posting it now so you can all see it. Go onto X and just post at that, and then look at all the different aggregator accounts, the posts they put out. And when you read the links and the stories they put out, you think it's April Fool's Day. It's unbelievably bad. It really is. But on the Mainoo thing, yeah, 3 or 4 weeks ago, United were being slammed because it was deemed that we didn't think he was good enough. And everyone in their dog said, I want him. I want him. I want him. Oh, I love him. Now that he's asking for decent money, United are crazy to give him anywhere near that. I'm going to go with the first gut reaction, which was United, rivals of Man United, were praying he left because they know how talented he is. So, yeah, I'm sort of semi-relaxed about it personally.
The first tweet on that account is, Liverpool fans on social media have been mobilizing to get the club to sign Steven Gerrard as a free agent. The intention is for him to play 5 games with the Premier League. The only title he's missing can be counted. Where the hell?
There we go. There we go.
Who's been mobilizing? Where is this? I want to go.
This is my whole point, right? It's that whole newspaper. I don't even know if it's a real one because I don't speak Spanish. I have a feeling it's like you used to get this a lot we used to have this newspaper in England that was it was satire. It would write stories and articles that weren't real. And I think that's what this place is. So, yeah, I mean, the fact that they're talking about Liverpool doing that is crazy. The other news that came out today, Amorim's been slammed by Antony and his team. They're essentially saying that Amorim's wrong. Antony didn't lack physicality for the Premier League, speed for the Premier League, quality for the Premier League. It was his bad coaching that made Antony bad.
Didn't he play bad under Ten Hag? What does Amorim has to do with this? I'm sorry. The guy was dog shit under Ten Hag. And he was dog shit under Amorim. Like, sorry, it didn't work out for him at Man United. Him playing very well at Real Betis proves the point that Man United as a club is broken. But this is the agent just talking, trying to make his player look good. Like he's trying to make his client look good because Amorim called him out or something. But again, Antony didn't work in the Premier League as a lot of other players. This is bullshit. And I don't know what is the beef between the agent and Amorim. Like, there's no beef here. Why there is beef? Like, Amorim is doing well in Spain.
See, that's Man United then.
But he didn't under Ten Hag. What is Amorim? Amorim coached the guy like 4 months? No, not even 4 months, Terry. Like 2 months?
Yeah.
Hold on. It was 1 month. It was December. And then he left in January. He coached him 1 month.
Thing is, like, you have to, if you're Antony's agent, there is nothing wrong with saying this publicly because you're not gonna go against your own client. You know, you're gonna say it's obviously not his fault. This is something that you expect an agent to say. Yeah, and it's not that deep from an agent perspective. But I think for us football fans, we watched what we watched with Antony ever since Man United signed him. He became a banter player, a player that you would banter Man United with. You know, you spent 90 million on Antony and blah, blah, blah. This is something that we said regularly on a regular basis. So you can't act like he's this amazing player. Some players just suit certain leagues more than the other. And also, with all due respect to Real Betis, you know, what's it called? With Real Betis, like the pressure of playing for Real Betis is just completely smaller than the pressure playing for Manchester United. And like with Real Betis, no one criticizes your every move, no one criticizes your every dribble. There's no highlights of like, oh look, Antony did this wrong and that wrong. You could probably go to the Real Betis games and find like failed compilations of Antony doing stupid shit, just like he did at Man United.
So why do you think Man United fans are doing compilations of Antony at Real Betis?
Because Man United fans have already turned on Amorim. Because Man United have fans, there are a couple of them who have already turned on Amorim. There are Man United fans who are actively Amorim out, and now they are in this situation where it's like,
but that doesn't prove a point. He played one month under Amorim. That doesn't prove anything that Amorim is bad or good.
No, I'm not saying it proves Amorim is bad. I'm saying this is one of their more points that they're using to prove that Amorim is not the manager that they thought he was.
Do you know what you get though, boys, right? There are some Man United fans online who are empty-headed, dull-witted, stupid. You get some that will go, see, I knew the manager was a fraud. Look how good Antony looks. Ignoring how bad Antony looks for the majority of time under Ten Hag. And under Ten Hag, my biggest bugbear with Antony, barring not using his right foot, was he never tried running past players. He never... Even when he had them beat, it was like he didn't want to get into that physical battle. So I agree with Amorim's assessment. But this is where a lot of United fans can be foolish, stupid, mindless, brain dead. Is you get some saying, stop gassing what Antony's doing in La Liga. And I'm like, you moron. We want to gas it because we want to get as much money as possible. And I think the more hype you create, the more chance there is of making money. Then you get the other dullards who are like, oh, this just proves how bad a coach that Amorim is. He couldn't get this out of him. Thinking that the reason that Antony was bad was because of Amorim. And I just look at both sets of those United fans and just think, yeah, you go into the toaster person category. Just one, you're making it harder for us to sell a player by trying to play down. Listen, I think he's been good and he's got the man of the matches. I'm not even watching the games. I'm going to say he's been the best player in the Liga this season. I'm going to push that agenda because at the end of the day, it's a bit of fun as well. It's just, honestly, like some Man United fans are just dense, bruv. Absolutely dense when it comes to this stuff. His agent doing it. You said it in the group chat earlier, to be honest, Mo, and it was spot on. I also get his agent doing this because I think what they're looking at now is we need to try and force a move. His agent probably wants to try and reduce the transfer fee as much as possible because it creates more options for Antony. So if he can try and create a little bit of friction between Antony's camp and Man United with these good performances, clubs are interested. Could they get 10, 15, 20 million pound off of what Man United want by creating friction and a need and a necessity to sell? Maybe. But yeah, look, I'm really happy what Antony's doing. I hope he keeps scoring. I hope he keeps getting man of the match performances because we might go from struggling to get 20 million for him to maybe getting 40 or 50. Who knows?
40 million for Antony.
Do you know what I love, though? Do you know what I love about it as well? It's all of Baller FC. Baller FC, they're in such a predicament from an ideological standpoint because Baller FC say that La Liga is a harder league than the Premier League. They say it's higher level. Yeah. So now he's performing in that league. You can't say Man United, if he's doing it in the hardest league in the world, well, surely he's worth a lot of money. And they hate Antony. So I love watching the kind of, you see the sort of the dichotomy in their thought of shit. If I say Antony's only doing, I can't say German tax. I can't say Serie A tax because then it undermines my view that La Liga is clear of the Prem. What do I love just kind of watching. And I don't really care for their answer on a real level. I enjoy watching their brain cells bash together, trying to work out a way out of the conundrum they've created for themselves. It's beautiful, man.
Ballers FC, the same people that back Sancho all day long and said that the problem was Man United, but no one is hearing anything. No one is hearing anything about Sancho now. He's having one assist in like 13 games. No one is, I don't see any Sancho props or Sancho slander. The word Sancho disappeared from X. Now, since he's having a bad games at Chelsea, it disappeared.
What happened to that United fan who became a Chelsea fan to support Sancho? Remember the guy that kept tweeting?
I haven't. It looks a bit. Yeah, I haven't seen that guy in a while. Jimmy here says, "Oi lads, that bloke making YouTube content said he's good. Let's add 30 million extra." See again, what you're doing there, Jimmy, is you are taking a point that's being made. You're going to the nth degree. You're being highly pedantic, and it's funny, and I get it. But I'm talking about fans can help control narratives. Liverpool fans, I've said it before, once they actually mobilized and started talking more, and once they started crowning Mo the king of Liverpool, there was a chance he could become the GOAT of the Premier League. As soon as Liverpool started saying he's the king of Liverpool, they've been able to push that he's the king of the Premier League. You could never make him the king of the Premier League if he wasn't the king of Liverpool. It wouldn't work that way. So for Man United fans, I'm not saying just because some random person tweets that he's been world class and worth 100 million, you'll get that. But if you keep the energy high, it plays a part because the hype is there. La Liga are bigging him up. La Liga are on socials bigging him up. If you're a Man United fan, you retweet all of that type of thing. That will help Man United in the sales room sell the player. Because what they can't claim is that he's a struggling player. Well, your league has said he's a superstar. Look at the level of retweets, the interactions. That commerciality, Jimmy, is worth millions and millions of pounds. So I do believe your example is very pedantic, so it sounds like it's wrong. But overall, if you do it right, Man United fans can help get the club some money here. If we engage our brains.
Jimmy, you're really underestimating us as YouTuber, bro. You're really underestimating us as YouTuber, bro. I feel insulted, Jimmy.
I got back when Spaces was at its like highest, and I had like 3,000 people listening to Spaces at some point in time. I had someone actually genuinely swear on his mother's life that there were people had burner accounts from inside Liverpool, like players, certain coaches who used to listen to some of the Spaces. I swear to God, he told me there are actual coaches on a burner listening to my.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all if that type of thing goes on, if that happens. Ed Woodward, I honestly used to think that him and the Man United board for years would just listen to what was popular on social media and kind of and react to it. Sometimes it was so uncanny. I mean, it's what the media do as well. The media will hear what's said in a space, what a YouTuber says, or if there's a player that's getting stick online. They lo and behold, within a week, there's an article that kind of represents that view, and I just don't believe that it's coincidental.
Personally. Jimmy, I just says that Jimmy. Literally, there are big newspaper that literally their source is a couple of people talking on Talk Sports. Literally, their source, main articles, the main source is a couple of people speaking on Talk Sport.
Yeah, you get a lot of that. You get a lot of it. Some super chats here to do. First of all, this says, "Can't wait for the look on these two faces when we win the champion." We'll come back to that in a moment when we get onto the Arsenal section.
If Arsenal win the Champions League, I'll chop it off.
Antony's agent's attitude shows something that is very prevalent with a lot of players who are and have been at United, blame shifting. Pogba, Lingard both did the same. That it's something United need to change. Look, there is and there isn't. Antony should never have been signed for Man United to play for Ten Hag, but then at the same time, the club at the same time wasn't adapting the style that both of them thrived in at Ajax. So that's where I hold the club accountable as an example. And for me, I get why the agent is defending his player. That's literally...
There is nothing wrong with the agent's behavior. I'll be honest with you. There is nothing wrong. Like, at the end of the day, if your client is Antony, whether you're trying to get him a move, whether you're trying to get him permanently to Real Betis, whether you want, like, maybe an Atletico to come in for him or whatever it is, you have to do this, bro. Like, what do you expect Antony's agent to come out and say, "Oh, yeah, Antony's shit," by the way? Like, he's not going to say that. Like, he's going to say, "My player is amazing," and he's
not going to say Amorim's right, he lacks physicality. Then when you're trying to sell him a big contract to a new club, like I've said, what you have said is hard to argue against. Real Betis.
Yeah, what if Simeone want him? Then what?
So Real Betis cannot come to Man United and say, "Look, we only want to pay 20 million for him because he's a failed Man United player." When for 6 months they've been posting positive tweets about him. When they've been when I've seen some of their big accounts retweeting things that certain United fans have said. You can't then, if you've done your research properly, you can't then go, "Well, you don't think he's a flop though. You think he's amazing." Look, I'm not talking about a tweet from Mark Goldbridge or a tweet from Planet Faz or Saeed, but I'm talking about them utilizing that. And you've seen clubs do it now. Anyway, look, let's get back to these super chats. We've got a lot to get through today. Paying him that much goes against Ineos's austerity spree they have done, which costing them a barrage of dissent, criticism, and scrutiny. The thing is with the austerity, The austerity, listen, I don't like that people have lost their jobs. We've been through that a million times. I'm not going to keep saying it because it's been said. I don't think they're creating it. When the government in the UK has created austerity, they cut things, they cut spending in certain areas, prices go up, tax goes up, but rarely do they reverse their decision. I don't think that Man United are going to reduce our wage bill for players to never increase it again. I believe they're lowering it so there is the capacity to buy players and buy better players in the future. So I don't think it goes against what they're doing. I think it frees up the money to keep the better players and move everybody else on personally. Paying him that much. Oh, sorry, I already done that super chat there. Thank you, Hamid. I appreciate that, bro. And your super sticker you sent through as well. Thank
Big up, Hamid.
You. Best show on YouTube, good football knowledge and chat with a slight shamelessness and banter, but no real bias. Tired of these trolls and 12-year-olds bantering.
Appreciate you, JB. Thank you, my brother.
Big up, JB. There are people in the chat that think we are knobheads that should be removed from the show. Big up.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
Big up, bro. Big up, my man.
Not gonna happen, chat. Not gonna happen.
Terry, try doing one day of Ramadan with the boys. In fairness,
I think you can do it. Troops did one. I think he did. Troops did 2 weeks last year.
Yeah,
I think you
look,
can do
I've done it before in my life. When I worked in the banking system at Barclays at retail level, I think for a couple of years, I didn't do the full month, but I did like a week or so at a time. I've done it before. It's I quite enjoyed because I live near a few of the guys I worked with. I kind of enjoyed the process in terms of getting up in the morning, eating, and then like finishing work. It was hard. First time I ever did it, I was like 23, 24 years old when I first started doing it. It's really hard. And then in the evenings was great because it felt like every night felt like Christmas in terms of like Christmas dinner, in terms of it was like a celebration. Yeah. So we went to a couple of times, we went to like people's houses with family. Most of the time we went to there was loads of restaurants nearby. We went to different restaurants and did it. And yeah, I had a really good time doing it, to be fair. It was good fun. And saying to Saad backstage last night, what I did enjoy about it is for that week, like the clarity of mind it gave me, not eating during the day was very, very good. So yeah, I've done it before. Maybe in the future, maybe. What has he done to earn 180k a week? I love him. 110 is cool.
You're wrong, Kenny. Here's the problem, Kenny. Sometimes you pay for potential.
No,
bro.
Kenny might be right. Don't say this because we don't know yet. This is I'm not even sitting on the fence. I'm saying Kenny might be right 3 years from now. It's
forget might. Is Kobe Mainoo a good player, Hassan?
Yes.
Is he an upcoming talent?
Yes.
Will Man United lose if he goes?
Yes.
Can Man United reproduce another player like this?
Yes, because he's not Messi. They can.
Yeah,
it's a possibility, Mo. Let's not do this.
It might be, but if there was another guy that is coming through, Man United would have played him. Man United are very short in the midfield. Yeah. If there is another guy like Kobe Mainoo
as well, who looks like McTominay, Collier, I think his name is.
Collier is all right. He's all right. He's not Kobe Mainoo, bro.
No, I listen, I get that. And look, Kenny, what I would say is this. It's what his agent, if you read the article, it's what his agent has demanded. Let's wait and see where it ends up landing. And then I'll give it the benefit of any doubt and see how he performs, because I've been happy with Mainoo in the last year or so. So let's go and see what he does. De Ligt is on 195k for failure. Mainoo deserves 180. De Ligt's not been a bad signing for Man United, my friend. I don't really care.
195? Okay.
Yeah, 195. I think it was quite. He took quite a big pay cut. He took quite a big.
But that is what I was required. Sam, he was coming from Bayern Munich. Man United could not have signed the player without paying him that much. Like there was no other option. He actually took a wage cut.
I respect that, but I'm just looking at it from a perspective of if De Ligt is on 195 and he's not a bad player. He's not. I'm not gonna say he's a bad player, but if someone comes through at Man United and like is tearing it apart, he's gonna want like 250, 275, 300.
But that's the going rate. But that's the go. Okay, let me ask you something. Do you think if Cole Palmer is playing this season like last season, and he's getting, I don't know how much is Cole Palmer, like 150, and he sees Phil Foden, same kind of age, making 300k, or Bukayo Saka making a 250k as the new contract is reported, the Cole Palmer is going to say, yeah, I'll play the best football in Chelsea, and I'm going to make 150k. He's not going to do that.
You've got to look at it this way as well. People always forget this. First of all, we got him to take a £60,000 a week decrease in salary, De Ligt to join us. On top of that, Mainoo is far more commercially viable at Man United. He's from Manchester. He's from the academy. He's English. He's part of the England team. These things make him more commercially viable. So you have to consider the commercial value of a player when looking at their salary as well. This is call me crazy, but I think if we keep our balls, we don't have Sorry, I'll come back to the Arsenal stuff later in the show, guys, because I don't want to.
Is he talking about United qualifying for top four?
No. He's talking about Arsenal because I read the rest of it. It's like I like keeping the super chats on point in terms of the subject we're on. Otherwise, it makes the shows messy. I'm not a big fan of doing that. This here says, "Good afternoon, my Habibis. Love Wednesday shows. Thank you, Eric.
Big up, Eric. Shukran."
This here says, where's it gone? Terry, it's Man United fans who have been moaning about Mainoo's wages demands, gassing if he isn't worth it. And look, as I say, some Man United fans are silly. Some Man United fans don't understand the finances of football. But these are also probably the same Man United fans who 9 months ago were on their knees for Ineos saying how amazing they are, that have now changed their minds completely. They're the same people that would have said, I'm glad the bald fraud is gone. Amorim's here, watch us cook straight away. This squad's amazing. And now instead of saying they were wrong about the squad, we'll just say, I've been defrauded by the manager. We should sack him. So I don't really take their opinions too seriously, Ola, because I think what they do is they speak on one side of their mouth when it's fashionable to. They're waiting to the right time to switch. It's strategic. They switch so they can pick up, so they can be popular that side as well. I don't actually believe the people that are overtly that are saying this, if I'm being honest. Now, moving on from Man United, because I don't want to run out of time today because of the times that games are starting. So I want to try and get through this quite swiftly. But it was revealed in the media yesterday why Slot was sent off, why he's facing a 2-game ban. He essentially turned round to, well, he turned round to Michael Oliver, according to the report, and says, if we lose the effing lead, it's your effing fault. And said that while he was shaking his hand aggressively. So swearing at him, grabbing up his hand. And essentially, I'm going to call it for what it is. He went full-time Arsenal here, saying that if we don't win the league, it's purely on the referees. What do you make of this? And do you think it warrants the ban he's going to get, Hussam?
My manager, Arne Slot, absolutely love him. What he said to Michael Oliver is absolutely fantastic. I love it. This is standard. And of course, instead of shifting the blame to the referee, everyone goes, oh my God, Arne Slot said that we're going to blame you. We don't know. Yeah, but Michael Oliver did cost us that game. We brought up multiple evidences of him costing us that game. You know, don't make me go back to that game. That game still scarred me to the second. I never forget that game. Michael Oliver, the bastard. You know, he's the same guy that the Mateta fly kick to his head, he didn't give a red card right in front of his face, by the way. Right in front of his face, didn't give a red card. I absolutely love what Slot said. I have no problem with it. And it doesn't warrant a too much ban. It doesn't. Like, at the end of the day, if you go eat at a restaurant and you start vomiting after, you're going to blame the quality of the food at the restaurant. That's just normal, you know? But instead, we're blaming the guy that ate the food.
What a lot of bullshit, bro. What is this guy waffling about?
Go ahead, speak. I could tell you want to speak.
No, hold on. No, I don't. You're really thinking that everyone that have decisions go against them can go up to the referee and tell them that? You know that every manager, you think that is okay?
Yes, because now it applies pressure on referees and they have to deliver in these high pressure situations.
I disagree with you. That he can complain to the media, he can say, but going back to the referee's face and telling him that is, bro, this is kind of, no, I don't think this is right, though. Telling the referee to his face. Now it's not, by the way, all of you guys said that he only shook his hand. No, he didn't. Like, just come on. As we call Arsenal wrong for doing what they're doing, we have to call it. It's wrong.
What do we call Arsenal wrong for doing what?
Like, if they surround the referee and do the after the game and do all this.
Surround the referee. The players didn't surround him. He went to him. He told him, if we lose the league, I'm going to blame you. Love it. Blame him. Because this is reality. These referees have been main character syndrome in the Premier League for way too long. They're getting involved in these decisions for way too long. And someone has to, you know, come out and say this to their face so they can be held accountable instead of us babying these referees all the time. And instead of us acting like, you know, the referees have to be held accountable for their shit mistakes. We're sitting up here. And
if saying, anyone done this, you would have different energy.
Yeah, can I ask you,
done this?
So on what you're saying, hang on, Mo. So are you saying the manager should do this, or can it come from any department of a football club?
I don't care, regardless.
So you will no longer call out Arsenal fans when they say that then because the slot is essentially done what Arsenal fans have done here. He has said, if we don't win the league, it's on you. So now when Arsenal fans say Liverpool are top because the referee screwed us over, you are happy. You may not agree that that's the reason you're top, but you are happy to support Arsenal fans because referees have to be called out for the mistakes they make. You're happy for that.
Yeah, but that's factually incorrect. Liverpool are not going to win the league because Arsenal have had wrong decisions go against them, because we have had also wrong decisions go against us. We have also had injuries. And the reason why Liverpool are top of the league is because Liverpool are the best team in the world.
Let me stop you, because that isn't the question that I asked. So maybe I phrased it wrong. Your point is you want Slot or anyone associated to your club calling the referees.
Yes, 100%.
You know as well as I do, if you don't win the league, it's not going to be because of referees. The same as you've just said for Arsenal. Agree or disagree? Agree?
If we don't win the league from this position, of course.
Exactly. So my question about Arsenal was, even though you and I and most Arsenal fans know that Liverpool are top because they've been fantastic, them calling out the refs and blaming them the same way Slot has for costing them, you support their message, because all they're really trying to do.
No, I don't, because I don't agree with that message.
But it's what your manager said.
No, but I don't think that Arsenal are going to lose the league because of refereeing decisions.
And nor do we think that Liverpool, if they lost the league, would have been because of Michael Oliver.
The point you made.
Yeah, I know. I know that.
Sam, please let me finish. Sam, please let me finish, because I think you're missing me.
I don't agree with them.
Please let me finish. Please let me finish. You have said that you want your manager doing it because it's put pressure on the referees to make the right decisions. Yes. That's why Arsenal fans are doing this. There might be some absolute cuckoos out there that literally think that there's an agenda against them, but all they're trying to do is make the referees give their club better decisions. You support that endeavor now, surely?
No, because it's not something I agree with. I'm saying that the manager going out and aggressively shaking a referee's hand and saying this to him or insulting him, I have no problem with, because the referee needs to be held accountable. But us as fans of the football club are not just blaming referees for us not losing the league title. Like last season, when Liverpool were lobbed off 9 points, VAR decisions, I didn't say the referee cost me the league.
Okay, so I want to understand your stance. So not the fans doing it, but if Arteta comes out and says it, you are fully supportive of him the same way you are.
100%. Arteta should come in the press conference and insult every referee. I have no problem
so every time Arteta disagree with a way a referee has managed the game, he should be allowed to go up to the referee and tell him.
Of course, he should be allowed. I've been saying this for the last 3 years. Where have you been? I want every manager and every player to come out publicly and cuss out these referees. I have no problem with it. If Arteta wants to come in a press conference and say Michael Oliver against this team did this and did that, I have no problem with it whatsoever. I think it's absolutely elite, because these referees need to be called out 100%. If it's someone from within the club or if it's someone like a manager calling them out, I have no problem with that. I have zero problem with that whatsoever. I want every manager in this Premier League to come out after every wrong decision in every press conference.
No. Who says it's right or wrong? So here's the problem with you. Here's the problem with you. Me and you disagreed on a couple of the red cards that Arsenal got. You said that one of them is correct. I said it's the other way around. So you think that Arteta, every time he thinks that there is something against him, he can go up to the referee with no consequences and say, you fucked up.
Yeah, but there are things that are obvious, Mo.
See, obvious is different from your point of view to other people's point of view.
No, it's not. The reason why it's not is because obvious. When I say stuff is obvious, it means 95% of the people.
Bro, do you know why I said the example of the red cards? Because me and you completely disagree on a couple of the red cards of Arsenal. You think one is correct, I think one is wrong, and the other way.
I think.
Forget which one. I can't remember which one, but me and you disagreed. Right? That means also people can disagree on things. So the manager. So Arne Slot,
he should have been sent off. I said he shouldn't have.
By the way, Arne Slot, we're going in circles here. Arne Slot might think that there is referee X is going against him, but we sit on a panel and we think, oh, this game was called fair. So, but Arne Slot has the right to go and tell him, fuck off. You called the game wrong. That's what you're saying.
All, if you're a referee in any sport,
I'll be honest with you, right? I've got no problem with a manager having stern words with a referee and having a conversation. If this report is true and he's sworn at him in that way, listen, I know a lot of people try to play it down, but we're all men here. and you will know for a fact, and we're all at an award, we'll say a football content awards evening, because that's probably one of the only times where loads of football content creators are together. If another bloke walks up to you and you've had some spats in spaces, some spats with people online, if one of those content creators walks up to you, grabs your hand that way and speaks that way in your face, you are not going to say that's fine. You are going to say that's completely unacceptable behavior. It's aggressive. And I still think if Slot has said these things, I think what Slot has done is wrong. I think a 2-game ban is absolutely right. What I find hilarious about it, though, and what I've enjoyed, is that he went full Arsenal. And I'm just thinking of that scene from Tropic Thunder. Never go full Arsenal. The whole, if we don't win the league, it's on you. I think it's kind of funny. I just think kind of ironic, really, because most fan bases like to shit on other clubs and other fan bases when they blame refs. But everybody ends up blaming referees at some point. You guys did it after the Everton game as an example. And there's been actually so many examples since of little nudges and little pushes and little pulls in the box that haven't been given as fouls. I've actually quite enjoyed it. But viewers...
Yeah, but I explained it to you 100 times and you just...
He's rattled now. He's rattled.
The side. I said the way that... No, but you guys both of you just keep interrupting me, so how can I land my point?
We've had your explanation. We can move on now. We get where you...
No, we can't move on. We're not going to move on because you keep making it out like I'm saying that every push on the back should be a foul, when that's not what I said. I said based on the way that Michael Oliver refereed the Merseyside derby that game, that should have been given as a foul because he gave those as a foul all game long.
Not in the box.
Mark,
not in the box.
Mark, one second. Mark is someone that I appreciate his opinions when it comes to this refereeing stuff because he's been completely like honest and objective about it. Mark Goldbridge. This is what he said regarding the Slot red card. He said, so Arne Slot got a red and a 2-match ban for saying he'd blame Oliver if they didn't win the league. Seems pretty standard to me. If a chef gives me food poisoning, I'm blaming them. Issue with the PGMOL is they want to be blameless. That's what he said.
So let's very quickly on that, because we are going to run out of time. I get the point of you can criticize a referee, but there's a way in which if you get bad food in a restaurant and you turn around and say, look, the food's cold or it's horrible, the chicken's undercooked, I want my money back, you'll probably get it. If you go in there, grab the owner of the restaurant by the wrist or by the hand, pull him in close, start swearing in his face, they're not going to give you a refund. They're going to kick you out. There's a way in which you go about things in life.
Yeah, but football is not. But football is an emotional sport. So if a manager gets angry and he shakes his hand aggressively and says something like this, there's nothing wrong with this. If you want to remove emotions out of a sport, go watch badminton. So,
no one wants to remove. No one said that. Listen, viewers, you give us your opinion.
Bookmark this, people. We're gonna bookmark this for the next time. Someone surrounds a referee in the Liverpool game and Sam calls them out from the opposition. Bookmark this, okay?
Viewers, hit the like and the share button. You've got a big game tonight, though. Massive game against PSG. How do you see it going, Hussam?
You have chest or is the league? You have chest?
Shut the hell up. Anyway, when it comes to the Champions League, this is my competition. I absolutely love the UEFA Champions League. It felt so dry last season when we weren't in the Champions League, to be honest with you. I think if Real Madrid get knocked out, I think we're the favorite. As things stand, we're the second favorite in this competition. I stick by it. But when it comes to today's game against PSG, it's going to be a difficult game. Obviously, PSG is not an easy opponent. They have a very fluid front three. They're a difficult opponent to come up against. But at the end of the day, because the second leg is at Anfield, even if we lose by 1 goal or 2 goals today, I'm still confident that we go through anyway. I don't have a problem with this draw. When the draw came out, people were like, oh my God, please give me Benfica. Why did we get PSG? I wasn't one of those guys. I said we're going to beat PSG. I'm confident that we're going to beat PSG, and I have no problem with having confidence in us saying that we could go away today and win. But I'm not predicting a win for tonight. I'm predicting a win for the aggregate, like overall. I think today is going to be a high-scoring draw. I think it's either going to be a 2-2 or a 3-3, but we will go through when we beat them at Anfield. The second leg at Anfield is massively favors us. PSG's midfield, I think, will be one of their weaknesses because technically they're very gifted, but they have an athleticism problem. Whether it's Ruiz or Doué, whether it's Vitinha, Joao Neves, they're not as athletic as our midfielders, which I think they might not be able to handle. Their fullbacks can be got at. which I think is going to be a thing. But for me in the UEFA Champions League, I fear no one but Real Madrid. That's the only football club, and I've been consistent about this from day one of the Champions League. The only football club that I do not want to face in this competition is Madrid. Other than that, bring me anyone. We would beat Inter, we would beat Atletico, we would beat Bayern. Bayern are a nothing club right now. We beat them easily. Barcelona's defense won't be able to handle us. We're going to slap the shit out of Barcelona. Arsenal don't make me laugh. Atletico Madrid, difficult, but I still think we can handle them. So, yeah, I'm very confident in the Champions League this season. I actually look forward to it. But we have to do a job today. And even if PSG, by the way, even if they win 2-0 today, the tie is not over. Because remember one thing, everyone keep this in mind for even your own clubs. There is no more away goals, by the way. There's no more away goals. So like if like us today losing 2-0 and then winning 3-1 at Anfield, it goes to extra time. It's no longer extra away goals rule. So we have to keep that in mind for the season. But I'm very confident with my club. I'm very confident with Liverpool in the Champions League. But for tonight specifically, tie we go through. But tonight I think high scoring draw, 2-2, 3-3.
I believe Liverpool are very suited to PSG. The counter-attack, Luis Enrique is going to try to have the ball. He's going to try to do what City do to Liverpool. Like 50,000 passes and then have all the players go forward and then Liverpool on the counter-attack. I don't know who's going to play this. Gakpo's out, so it's Diaz, probably Jota and Salah.
It's going to be the same team as City, 90%.
He might surprise us and actually drop Jota and play 4 midfielders like what he did in a couple of games on the slot. I think it's very suited to Liverpool actually to win the game away from home and just put this tie to bed, in my opinion. I think Liverpool will go through us. Sam, it's not guaranteed that they win today, but 1 goal margin would be all right for Liverpool.
Even if we lose today in the second leg at Anfield.
But the problem is, I believe if you lose, but if you collapse, like what, for example, whatever happens, and if you collapse, by the way, Liverpool have not been beaten by more than 1 goal margin this season. They only have 2 losses, 1-0 against Nottingham Forest and 3-2 against PSG with kids. So basically, Liverpool for over a year has not been smashed. When I call smashed, 2+ goal margin, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? So, but if Liverpool lose by 2+ goal margins today, I believe it's very difficult for Liverpool to go through. Because I believe if Liverpool go forward
today, you think we won't go through?
I would put PSG now as favorites to go by 60-40. The reason why? Because both teams are very suited for counter-attacks. If Liverpool attack, PSG and counter-attack are lethal with Barcola, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia. And if PSG attack, Liverpool are very suited to play in the counter-attack with how Alisson distribution, Van Dijk, Salah on the counter-attack. So if PSG have the upper hand today, 2-0, I believe PSG might go through actually, and Liverpool will be knocked out, and Liverpool will be actually failing this season.
Yeah, 3-0, of course.
No, 2-0, even 2-0. But I believe that Liverpool will be able to win today.
Liverpool are the favourites. They're the favourites to win the tournament. They've been the best team in the world this year. So
Terry, before you go on, but a lot of people say otherwise. That is a problem. Pundits, ESPN, and other people saying that PSG has been in better form, and they're saying
so on.
It's very go ahead.
PSG's form as of late has turned around. They started the Champions League campaign awfully in the last 4 or 5 games, and then what they've been doing domestically, they've been on point. Example would be Dembele. Dembele, through injuries, application, and whatever else you want to put it down to, up until this season, I think he is always massively underachieved based on his ability. Dembele this season has been the player that everybody expected him to become. Barcola looks amazing. The team has it took a little bit of time this season, but it's kind of clicked into gear. And what's different about this PSG team in the last 4 or 5 games is they have a team that works as a unit, where in years gone by with 3, 4, 5, 6 superstars, players not tracking back, people not working hard. So I understand where people are coming from. However, Liverpool have been the best team in the world this season. I'm not saying this game's easy for Liverpool, and I'm not writing Paris Saint-Germain off, but over 2 legs, I see it being quite a high goal scoring game though. If I'm going to predict in 2 legs now, I'm saying something like 4-3 to Liverpool. I think it's going to be a game where both teams are highly competitive in the game. And even if PSG win 2-0 tonight, I could see Liverpool winning 3-1, 4-1, whatever it may be at Anfield in a few weeks' time. I think it's going to be one of those classic Champions League games. And, Yeah, but both
But
teams
in
can
your
win
opinion,
it.
in your opinion, if
Liverpool for me,
Liverpool
slight
lose this
favourites.
tie, in your opinion, if Liverpool lose this tie, have they bottled the Champions League being the best team in Europe, as you say?
I wouldn't call it bottling it because I wouldn't use the word bottle. I'm going to keep it 100.
Can't bottle a knockout competition.
Well, no, you can, because if you were again, if you get through this round and then you play Aston Villa and get knocked out, your pedigree compared to theirs, you might call that. You get if you get to the semis and it's Arsenal and they knock you out with no attackers, that's a different conversation. However, PSG, they have turned in this season into a phenomenal team. So getting beat by them, I wouldn't call it bottling. The same as, to be honest with you, if Arsenal get knocked out by one of the Madrid clubs, they have not bottled their Champions League.
No, of course
campaign.
not. Of course not. But that's Arsenal versus the Madrid team. Are we joking here?
Again, but I've got, hang on, Mo, you're missing the point. I've got the same energy. Yes, Liverpool are the favourites, okay? But I don't see them. They're not clear of PSG, clear of Real Madrid, clear of...
That is right, by the way, in that.
They're
the
not
difference
so
between Liverpool
far
and PSG...
clear that it's an embarrassment to lose to PSG. They're not. They're not.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that.
They're better.
I wouldn't say it's embarrassing. Okay, for me, it would be a little bit embarrassing because it's still, because the second leg is at Anfield. Also,
thank you.
Yes,
That's
second
it.
leg is at Anfield. So because the second leg is at Anfield, I'm completely confident in this game. The one thing I'll disagree with Mo is even if we lose 2-0 today, I still think we can come back in Anfield and win. There's too much.
Of course you can, but I think it would be way difficult, like very difficult.
No, I agree. But
Like very difficult.
It's very Liverpool to do stuff dramatically anyway. But we will never agree on the favorites thing. I still think Madrid are favorites till they get knocked out. Then we will talk.
Yeah, listen, I understand why you say that. I mean, they won last night again, but it was just...
Did you see what did I tell you from game week 1? Did you see? 2 moments. That's it. That's all they
No, but
had.
hold on, they weren't even the better team on the pitch. You were doing
They weren't. Atletico were much better.
They weren't the better team. Atletico were much better.
Yeah, but this is the thing, though. Hassan, where I get your point. This is where I disagree with you. So that if you go back a few years ago, where I think it was PSG followed by Chelsea, followed by City, followed by Liverpool in the final. Every single one of those teams, if they took their, but if they were clinical, they knock them out. Madrid only had the chance to win late on and score those goals because those sides missed so many chances against them. So this is where it's one of those things where I think that, let's say that pattern emerges again this year, where teams are playing better, having the chances, miss, and then killed off late in the games. That isn't because Madrid are better than them overall. It's just that you lack that clinical edge. And when you were tired, they caught you on the chin with a knockout punch. And I would still blame you, Liverpool. If you play Madrid over 2 legs in the semi-finals, if you're both there, and you have 3 times as many shots, more of the ball, ample opportunity to win it, you miss all your chances, and then Vinicius Jr. kills you with 2 counterattack goals. That, for me, in isolation of that game, that would be, forget it's Madrid by name. That would be an embarrassment of a performance.
Okay, logically, I agree with you. Can I just make one point? I don't want us to talk about Real Madrid and Atletico for the whole show. Obviously, we're not. But I just want to make one point.
Fantastic topic. But
my point is not, Mo understood me when I explained it to him. You understood me when I explained it to you. It's not heritage. I'm simply talking about difference makers on the pitch. Who can make the difference? Rodrigo's on a difference maker any given day. Same with Vinicius. Same with Mbappe. Same with Camavinga. Same with Valverde. They are the one team left in the Champions League with the most difference makers. Right? So if they get eliminated, I know that all these players that they have that are capable of moments are no longer in the competition. You get me? That's all my point.
I understand that. And look, this here from Marco, heritage is real and I get it. But where you can kill the heritage hype in a game is by taking your chances. Chelsea, PSG, City and Liverpool, in that season where Real Madrid went on to win it. And I do believe the heritage got them through. And where the heritage got them through was they didn't capitulate when they were being dominated. As long as they were in the game, they kept a level of confidence. The fans stayed relatively calm to a certain degree, and it helped them through. But had Liverpool actually scored some of their gilt-edged chances in that final, they would have won the game. It wasn't as though there was... When Man United got beat in 2009, in the first final against Barca, we had half a chance in the opening few minutes and then nothing else for the rest of the game. That's when you're up against a team that's superior to you in that moment. Over the course of 90 minutes, there's been loads of teams that have gone up against Real Madrid in recent years. They haven't been outclassed for 90 minutes and beaten to a pulp. They've messed their own chances up. And that, for me, when it comes to a team as good as Liverpool, this season, I would hold them accountable for that, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not undoing the quality that Real Madrid have. Moving on from that, there's a few comments here about it. First one says, Inter Barca will definitely wipe the floor with you, is what Robert says here.
Barcelona beat Benfica with Nicolas Otamendi at the back 5-4 in the last second. Please.
This is true. PSG getting that PSV hype too. PSV have more chance of knocking out Arsenal right now than PSG knocking out Liverpool. People forget both teams are in the playoffs for a reason.
Damn, Blaze, obviously a Chelsea fan.
But Blaze,
Fair
Real
enough,
Madrid
Blaze.
were in the playoffs. Real Madrid, by the way.
Blaze.
The playoffs.
Wow, you really back Liverpool against PSG. I respect it.
By the way, I think that a lot of pundits and a lot of people that work professionally say that PSG will not go through. PSG will go through, and all the fans are saying Liverpool will go through. It's very strange how the opinions are so different. By the way,
I think people's views on PSG is coming from people that haven't. Listen, I still have Liverpool as the favourites to go through, but I think people are writing PSG off because they haven't watched enough of their games recently. They have become they are a completely different side to that of August, September, October. They have clicked into gear, and they've been a much. So if Liverpool beat them and beat them comfortably, that is an amazing scalp for them. This is
isn't that mean that PSG is just PSG? Isn't that why not the same energy? It's just PSG.
What do you mean?
If Liverpool beat them comfortably, it's just PSG that have been in the playoffs. Like,
No,
same energy, bro.
The difference between
No,
PSG
Same energy.
they haven't just had a couple of good games. It's been both domestically and in Europe. They have been potent. They've been very, very potent.
Yes, we are not even top of the Dutch league. You tried them, but didn't work.
Why are we talking about the 6-time Champions League winners as bums compared to Real Madrid? Sam, you guys were were the last team to beat Madrid in the European Cup final.
Daniek is the guy that has an obsession with me from last week. He's a yoga instructor. He takes what I say, twists the shit out of it, and then responds. Real Madrid are the favorites, and we're the second favorites. If I have my team down as the second favorites, that doesn't mean that they're bums. That means we're second favorites.
Yeah,
so yeah,
I hear that.
If Arsenal knock out Real Madrid, does that make them favorites? I don't know why you're laughing.
Well, that's a great segue, because I don't want to run out of time. We are going to run out of time if we're not careful. But it's a great segue. There's actually a super chat earlier. It says, "Call me crazy, bro, but I think if we keep our balls, we have a Champions League chance. Every club has to win it for the first time, and our midfield and defense is strong, confident but humble. Both Madrids can be beat." We obviously saw Arsenal last night.
I'm guaranteeing it right now. Guaranteed.
Let me finish the intro. Obviously, last night, slow down. You're so premature. Like when you get married, don't be like that in the bedroom. Slow down. Let it marinate. Let it happen organically.
Go on. Go on.
Obviously, Arsenal last night humiliated PSV. It was a record-breaking win. No one's ever won 7-1 away from home in a knockout game. Fastest team ever to score 4, 5, 6 goals. They did it without any of their strikers. Arsenal fans, I think Jay's saying here, confident but humble, not going over the top. They were amazing last night. Does this enhance their chances of winning the Champions League, Hassam?
No, because you can't enhance 0. It's impossible for you to enhance 0. You're at 0% chance. I think Aston Villa have a bigger chance of winning the Champions League than Arsenal. I fully believe this, 100%. Aston Villa have a cup manager in Unai Emery who has done this before in the Europa League with significantly weaker teams than Aston Villa. Aston Villa have players who have won the Champions League before, like Asensio. Aston Villa have individual players in their forward line who are capable of making a bigger difference. It's not beyond the realms of possibility Aston Villa beating Liverpool. So what? Like, okay, yes, I would be don't interrupt me. As a Liverpool fan in the quarterfinal, if we get knocked out to Aston Villa, I'll be disappointed. I'll be mad. I'll be raging. But it's not beyond the realms of possibility. It is a possibility that they do beat us. There is no possibility that Arsenal beat either Real Madrid or Atletico. It is not going to happen. Get it through your heads and just give up from now. I'm telling you right now, quarterfinal, you're going to get eliminated. Whether it's Atleti or whether it's Real Madrid, you are out. This is not your competition. You have no difference makers whatsoever in your team. You beat PSV. Hooray. Wow, well done. you beat PSV. Champions League, don't talk. Don't talk. You needed to be on the other side of the draw with Bayern Munich and the other bums on the other side. Now, when you're on the side with Real Madrid and Atletico, you're out. And guaranteed you're not going to win the quarterfinals.
Let me ask you a question, right? So you can guarantee that. So you don't think achieving a result, and I understand you'll say it's PSV, but there's been many a team of PSV's level and worse in the knockout phases, and nobody's ever done what Arsenal did last night. They barely concede goals from open play in this year's tournament. They're going to get Martinelli and Saka back. Why doesn't last? Because would you agree they were very good last night?
Martinelli and Saka against Simeone low block or against Real Madrid back four. Shiver me timbers. I'm better shitting.
So you don't. How good do you think Arsenal were last night?
I think they were very good, but I predicted Arsenal to beat PSV. I wasn't one of those edgy frauds who said, "Oh my God, PSV are going to do something." No, I said Arsenal are going to beat PSV.
And you don't think? So go on, Mo. Go on.
No, hold on. So you say Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, the defense and everything. You say these guys are bums. That's your words. They have no chance. Because to say that they have no chance, they're bums. Yet you say that they bottled the Premier League, though. How? How are you not rating them? But they bottled the Premier League. The Premier League is a very tough competition as well. They are going against a team that is doing very well now in Liverpool. No, I'm being serious because I have a different opinion than you. You keep saying, so he told you, Terry just told you, they're going to have Saka back, which is adding to how Nwaneri is playing, how Declan Rice has been playing, how the defense has been playing. Ben White is now back. That provides depth for them. Trossard has been clutch some moments in the Champions League. I believe that their defense can keep them in the game. They're not favorites. The difference between us and you is that you are choosing the easy choice. You're saying, yeah, they get knocked out.
I'm giving them 0% chance. That's not easy.
Exactly. That's 0%. You're giving them 0% chance.
To say 0%.
So, by the way, if you give them 0% chance, so basically you are comparing them to a Lille, for example, or a Fiorentina.
100%.
Okay. Yet let me finish now that point. Yet that same team, you say, was supposed to be good enough to win the Premier League and they bottled it. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, I will make it make sense now.
Please make it make sense. Yeah,
winning the Premier League and winning the Champions League is two completely different things. Me and you have had this debate before, and I explained it to you, and I've explained it to Terry. In order to win the Champions League, you need difference makers that they don't have. Winning the Premier League is not the same because Arsenal, 14 teams, 15 teams, they are expected to beat home and away. Okay, even without difference makers, just through a team unit. You said it yourself. Pep Guardiola set up a team so capable of slapping a league, but he was not capable of winning a Champions League until he had what? Difference makers. De Bruyne, Haaland, Rodri, difference makers across the pitch. Boom, Champions League winner. You need to be able to have difference makers, someone who can. Perfect example is Real Madrid yesterday. Okay, let's look at the 3 goals. Let's look at the 3 goals from yesterday's game. First goal, Rodrigo gets the ball down the right-hand side. One dribble, pow, weak foot, corner, goal. The goal that Atletico scored, Julian Alvarez gets it down the left-hand side. One dribble, pow, top corner against Courtois. The third goal, Brahim Diaz dribbles past 3 people, tight angle, scores. Arsenal have no player capable of that other than Bukayo Saka. And he's coming back from injury. Now, the reason why I say they have 0% chances, in the quarterfinal, they're coming up against the team, either Real Madrid with multiple more difference makers who can have all those moments across a 90-minute game, or Atletico Madrid who will set up in a low block and they will have 2 moments players at the halfway line waiting for you in Griezmann and Alvarez. So that's my logic with this whole conversation. That's why I'm being very logical. If Liverpool didn't have Salah, I would say the same thing. We have no chance of winning the Champions League. Do you think I trust Diaz to give me a moment in the Champions League? Do you think I trust any of these? No. I'm putting my faith in the fact that I have the best player in the world and I know he can create something out of nothing. Today, inshallah, when you watch PSG, Salah gets the ball at halfway line.
No, but I believe I think you are so. I think you base your analysis based on the Champions League that Real Madrid have played over the past 2, 3, 4 years. There's a lot of teams that There's a lot of teams that have won the Champions League historically, having a good system. aka Inter, aka Inter, Chelsea under Thomas Tuchel.
Inter didn't have difference makers?
Habibi, not like that. You don't understand. We had a way better system than everyone at that time. Barcelona had Messi at that time. Okay, don't yell and scream. Barcelona had way more difference makers than us, but we beat them. So does that make sense?
Yes, but you still had difference makers.
Chelsea, by the way, Chelsea at that time were a team that is coming from a final and a semi-final that they were robbed against Barcelona, and we beat them home and away. It's about the system. My point about it, you can have difference makers on the team. And we had Eto'o, we had Schneider, we had Milito. But these guys were not like what you say Mbappe at this time. Samuel Eto'o at that time was playing a left winger, by the way, just to let you know, he wasn't a striker.
Yes, and he's still better than all the Arsenal players now.
Yes, I agree. But at that time, there was a lot of other difference makers. There was Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo and other people around at that time. Torres, My point about this is that Arsenal's system will give them a chance against any team that is going to attack them because their defense is solid. And I don't believe that Atletico or Real Madrid will sit in a low block. Diego Simeone doesn't see Arsenal like what you see them. Diego Simeone yesterday against Real Madrid is going to attack.
He accepted 2-1, by the way.
Huh?
He accepted 2-1 yesterday, Simeone. I don't know if you noticed.
No, but at 1-1, he was still attacking. He was trying to score. He was committing players forward. You get my point. He's not going to sit back against Arsenal. I'm sorry. I think one of the things that I agree with you is that the second leg is in Madrid, no matter which club you're going to play. And that basically is going to give you an extra 20% if you're Real Madrid. However, giving them 0%, I think it's freaking crazy, actually. It's actually crazy.
I know that Hussam doesn't believe in that, right? Because I know just how I know he thinks there's more than 0%. How about
he's gonna give a crazy bet now?
Well, not a bet. Not a bet. We'll call it a competition. We'll call it a competition because I don't want to be disrespectful to your heritage. We have a competition. If Arsenal go through because you believe there's 0 chance, you donate your YouTube channel to Mo. There's 0 chance. But you can't lose it because there's 0 chance.
No. I ain't gonna donate nothing to Mo. I'm
hang on
good,
a minute. Hang on. But if there's 0, but you get to name what you want in return. But there's 0. But it has to be lesser because you said there's 0. If there's 0 chance,
0 chance is crazy, bro.
Would you enter into a competition where if Arsenal beat one of the Madrid teams, you lose your YouTube channel if there's 0 chance you could be wrong?
No, I wouldn't.
Then you know there's more than 0% chance.
Okay, well, whatever, 1% chance.
I would risk if the competition was me and you in a cage having a fight. I'd risk everything because I know I'm not walking out the loser, right? 100% I'm beating you, right? It's a joke. Right?
Wrestlers always beat boxers. Remember this.
Yeah, but no holds barred. I'm winning, right? The point I'm making, no, wrestlers are very strong.
No holds barred. I got to add steel chairs now.
Yeah, tables, chairs, ladders. Obviously, I'm joking with that example, but that's the thing. I believe you are over egging it. Of course, both Madrid clubs are going to be the favourites against Arsenal. For me, saying Arsenal have no difference makers, I think what you're doing is comparing it to Madrid's different makers. And yes, there is clear blue water. But Saka should be back by then. He's a difference maker. Let's not pretend that young Ethan Waneri can't be a difference maker. That kid has got the ability. He has got the ability. I'm not saying he's Rodrigo. I'm not comparing him to Mbappe. Is it not plausible in a game he could take on a defender and put a shot into the top corner? Can that happen by him? Has he got the ability to do it? No,
he says no.
So Waneri doesn't have the ability to beat a fullback and put a ball into the top corner, home or away.
Against Madrid,
okay, if you don't believe so, I think he's got the ability to be able to do that. I have seen Declan Rice. Declan Rice could step up in a game and could anchor a midfield. He could dominate a midfield. He's got the ability to do that. Now, again, I'm being very careful in what I'm saying here. I am not stating for a single second Arsenal's difference makers are better than Real Madrid's difference makers, but Real Madrid's difference makers might have an off day. They might miss their chances. Arsenal and they've got another difference maker at Arsenal, and it's called Mr. Set Piece. Let's not pretend that Mr. Set Piece might not turn up in a game as well. So again, I agree that Real Madrid would be the outright favourites in that game. Yes, but the idea that Arsenal have 0 chance when Saka should be back, Martinelli will be there. Ethan Waneri is almost an unknown entity, hard to mark because you don't know much about him. He could step up and do something. They have set pieces. They've got some good midfielders. Another area that could be a difference maker for Arsenal is they barely concede goals in the Champions League. That is significant. So to say 0 chance, I think is disrespectful. to say that either of the Madrid teams are favourites, I think is fair. I just wouldn't go as far to say that Arsenal have no chance of winning that game. I think it's a little bit too much. And Sai does say here, Mr. Set Piece has gone missing. He'll make a return at some point. In fairness, Gabriel should have scored from one last night at a clear header, but at some point that might return. So, look, I think.
Can I propose something for the people? Can I propose something for the people?
Yeah.
How about what if we do a combined 11 for real? Forget what Igal did. How many players you reckon Arsenal will get into that Real Madrid team? Genuinely, I'm being genuine.
Oh.
We know that Courtois would start. We know that.
Courtois starts. Are we going to keep Valverde at right back?
He's not a right back, but
he's
you
playing
can
there.
have him.
He's playing there. But is he a better right back
than Timber? I don't think so. He's very good, but it's a tussle. I get it. It's a tussle.
He's a better football player, but is he a right back? But that's there. Saliba gets into the team, in my opinion. Probably next to Rudiger. Left back, do you go with Lewis Skelly or do you go with Mendy?
I don't like Mendy, actually. I'm not a big fan of Mendy at all. I don't think Mendy's great, actually. I've watched him many times. I'll probably start Gabriel on that left back. I'd actually start Gabriel. Like, I don't like Mendy.
For me, yeah, if you're gonna have that, I'm putting Valverde in the team then. Valverde's got to be in that team for me. Midfield wides.
All Madrid. Midfield is all Madrid. Stop it. Yes.
You think Tchouameni is better than Declan Rice? Have you watched Real Madrid game?
Valverde and
have you watched Camavinga yesterday?
Okay, can I tell you my honest opinion? Who gets in the team? Because the people are obviously waiting for my opinion on this combined 11. I'll say the combined 11 is the following: Courtois, Timber, Rudiger, Gabriel, not Saliba this season. I go left back Mendy. Madrid midfield 3, Madrid forward 3. So I'm going Valverde, Camavinga, and
Tchouameni,
Bellingham, and then front 3 is Rodrigo.
You know that Bellingham is injured, right?
Would you do the same thing? Would you do the same thing with Atleti's midfield? Would you say all of them getting over all of Arsenal's as well?
Atletico's midfield. The thing with Atletico Madrid is they're more like, it's more Simeone really than anything else. It's not necessarily like the players, but I do think De Paul would start for Arsenal just based off of who he is.
I just say that I'm putting out because they had a lot of the ball last night against Real Madrid, and I'm not saying Camavinga and Tchouameni are not brilliant midfield players, but those two in central midfield, I think Arsenal could win a lot of the ball. So
Arsenal will have,
listen, there's a lot more Real Madrid players. There's a lot more Real Madrid players in the team than there are Arsenal players. But what I do think is outside the front three, because Saka's the only one that is a debate. I feel like with the other positions, and this is why it's a tussle. It's not. I don't think it's because Camavinga and Tchouameni are 100 million light years ahead of Arsenal's midfield. I don't think when you look at the defensive options, even the goal, Courtois is better than David Raya, but it's not like David Raya is a scrub. The only area where I think there is clear blue water department-wise is the attack. And actually, at the moment, as good as Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe are, Rodrigo is the man for me. There's something I love about that guy. He's just phenomenal. He tracks back, he defends, he's just involved in every. And his goal yesterday, I know that there was a debate around him and Alvarez's goal, whose was better. But for me, it was that first touch from Rodrigo, the way he took the ball away from the player and cut inside. It was just beautiful. I loved it. But look, Madrid are a better team than Arsenal. I'm not even trying to deny it. I wouldn't. Why would I? They're a phenomenal outfit. But I'd be intrigued with that game. I'd be intrigued. What do you make of what AFTV have said? AFTV, a lot of their pundits and fans on there have essentially said they think Real Madrid would attack more, so they have more chance of beating them than Atletico.
With all due respect to everyone at AFTV, that's just basic bitch analysis. With all due respect, just because a team will attack you. By the way, like,
I love how you use my phrase there, bro. I love that. Thank you. I like that. Listen,
PSG are gonna attack Liverpool today. Does that mean they're gonna have like a big chance just because they attack us? Like, you have to have quality. You have to have people on the counterattack. Who are you gonna counterattack with? Mainoo and Trossard? This is the thing that I'm talking about when it comes to this conversation. Even if you want it to be an objective conversation and not a 0% chance, they have a 1% chance. Okay, they have a 1% chance, not a 0% chance. Happy now? Point is, just because a team attacks you doesn't mean you have a better chance of beating them just purely based on the fact that they will attack you.
But I think you don't understand the point. Arsenal fans believe that anyone in the world that will attack them, they will pepper their goal. I'm being serious. Wallah al-Azim, I'm being serious. That's what was said. That's what was said. They said everyone that will attack us will have a better chance of peppering their goal.
Yeah,
that is their argument.
You know what's look, I understand they struggle against teams that sit back and they're low block. I also mean this without any disrespect. It's just a fact. I don't think either Madrid, especially, I don't think Atletico look at Arsenal and think, we better sit back. They are going to try and beat you off the park. They're going to try and attack. They're going to. So the one thing about both games, Arsenal will get the ball into areas of the pitch where they can create chances or they'll get shooting opportunities. That I don't think it's going to be, because there's not very many teams in the world anymore anyway. We spoke about this a lot in last Champions League campaign. There's very few teams in the world now, because City have gone off the boil, that you play against that barely give you a chance in a game. And I thought I love that element of Champions League football. It feels like it's coming back. You are going to get chances to score in games. It's just going to be about being clinical. I think Arsenal's biggest weapon in these next few games is, can they maintain this very good record of not conceding for open play? If they can maintain that, then there's always a chance, because if you barely concede a goal, by definition, you have a chance of going through these rounds. But look, they're the underdogs. They'll be the underdogs until the semi-final. And then if they're up against Liverpool, they're the underdogs. And if they make the final and they're against Inter or Barcelona, they're still the underdogs. So I think Arsenal fans have just got to strap themselves in. They're pretty much going to be the underdogs for every remaining game of this tournament, if you look at the likely qualifiers to the next round, if they are to get through. What I will say, though, before we go to the Super Chats, is I've seen a lot of people, again, go at Arsenal because they celebrated last night's victory. I saw a lot of people just... And I don't know about you boys, just very quickly on this. Do you find it...
Sam did.
No,
himself.
you didn't. No, you didn't.
Allah, Sam did himself.
Liverpool haven't done what they did last night. What do you mean they couldn't celebrate? What's wrong with you?
I didn't say that.
Sam said, like, don't go overboard. Don't like.
No, there was. I was on a panel show with Mo, and there was an Arsenal fan on there, Olu, who said that, you know, he isn't taking any foregone conclusions. And then
Sam agreed with him.
Yeah, and then Dionigal just jumped down.
Can you imagine winning 7-1 away from home in the biggest ever win in your Champions League history? And an Arsenal fan say, I didn't take anything away from the game, and Sam is saying, yeah, I agree with him. Why you're jumping?
Yeah, of course, because
why? And he's like, why didn't you do this against West Ham or Everton?
Yeah, but that's my point.
Oh God,
he literally did that, bro. I swear to God, he did that, bro.
Do you know what's really funny about that, right? I watched, and this is the thing with it, right? That's become such a narrative I'm bored of in football, because it takes away enjoyment. When Liverpool were making it through round after round after round in 2005 to get to that Champions League final they won, I think it was 2005. What's funny is Liverpool fans back then, and I knew loads of Liverpool fans, nobody was saying, I ain't celebrating because we're doing shit in the league. They celebrated going through. It's a social media thing to try and play down other people's achievements. Let's jump to these super chats here, because we'll end up running out of time before the end of the show. This year says
Mo can just make a whole lie about me and I can't respond. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the chat is saying that you said that yesterday. It's not.
No, but I didn't say that. You're paraphrasing.
I've got 11 minutes. I've got 11 minutes, and I've got
okay. And all I need is 10 seconds. Yesterday there were two. There was an Arsenal fan on the show, Olu, who said that this means nothing in the context of the season, which I agreed with. I'm saying now, if you go on Sunday and draw to Man United, then this win is just bittersweet. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, history. Yeah, don't worry about it. Arsenal have a very good system. Ancelotti often struggles against disciplined systems-based teams. Hence, Madrid's troubles against City, Barca, Atletico under Carlo. Game will be tight. The tie won't be simple. I think that's a fair point. It's a fair point. Origi was not a difference maker until he did it. That's a great point, to be fair. Thank you very much, Red Velvet Cake, for your super chat there. Waneri better than all of Liverpool's attackers beside Mohamed Salah.
That's not true at all. Waneri is not better than Gakpo. He's not better than Jota. He's not better than...
He's overboard now. Overboard now.
Yeah, overboard for a Barca fan.
Too much on that. I do believe Arsenal have zero chance at Madrid, so they go there with nothing to lose. Could that be good for them?
No.
Well, yes, if everybody writes them off, it will probably relieve the pressure. So potentially, but they've got a very slim chance of going to the Bernabeu and winning. But we'll see what happens. He said it. Hussam was very bitter last night, is what D says here.
I was not bitter. Diallo's a liar.
I reckon we can tussle with Atleti till the end. Yeah,
Who's we? Aren't you a Barca fan, Diallo? Well, who's we?
That is the game I would like to see at Atletico versus Arsenal personally. No one starts out as a difference maker. Players can become the difference. If you believe Arsenal players can't make a difference, no player on earth can become one then. So Champions League teams shouldn't play academy players.
I agree with you that players can become difference makers, but Arsenal players haven't shown the ability to become difference makers as of yet.
Confidence, but humble with big players back soon. Sam, you know the Arsenal bus park better than most because we've left Anfield with you ringing the past two seasons. The Madrid will come at us and get punched.
That's fine, JB. On the straight facts, when you lose to Madrid by 3 goals or more, come back and show same energy, please. Don't come here and tell me, oh, the board didn't invest, and the same sad story you tell me every time.
Hushambles said he doesn't want to lose calories whilst watching the match. Someone tell him you don't lose calories doing nothing.
Actually, you burn calories while sitting down.
Talking burns calories. So there we go.
Do your research, Ray.
Sam, I'm sorry, but you're totally mad now, is what D says. He also says, did you just say you can't enhance 0?
Yes, you can't enhance 0. I said that.
You can. You can add to it, can't you? You can add to 0.
But if I believe someone has 0%.
You can't multiply a 0, but you can add to it. So
you can add to it, but not multiply it.
True. Benfica beat Atletico 4-0 in the league phase. Barca ended Benfica's 4-year unbeaten record at home. Barca, the only team that wants Real Madrid. It's a fair point.
The thing that you don't understand is Madrid lost to Sheriff Tiraspol, won the Champions League. Liverpool lost to Red Star Belgrade and won the Champions League. Group stages means nothing.
Why are we talking about 6? Oh, sorry, already done that super chat there. Hussam, this is Delulu, not confident. You should be wary of most teams in the Champions League, PSG most notably, but don't underestimate any team in the Champions League. I think that was your comment about saying you don't really fear anyone in the Champions League, barring...
Yeah, but then you can't win. If I say, oh my God, like I'm afraid of 2, 3, and 4, people say you have no chest. I'd rather come out to chest and say it then.
Blaze says, you know when it's not a problem to celebrate when Salah scores against Southampton and takes off his shirt whilst Sam is screaming in the watch-along.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Celebration police are hilarious. If even Waneri continues to play like this, we save a lot of money in the summer. We have a replacement for Saka. Yeah, you just need to invest that money elsewhere and not spend, but money. Yeah, he looks very, very good. And his goal last night was fantastic. His performance was brilliant. 17 years of age as well. Just absolutely phenomenal. Can't wait for the look on these two faces when we win the If Arsenal were to win the Champions League, I'd love to see Hassam's face the second that happens. It would be a picture, I think. It'd be a picture, 0 chance. Mo, chances of Feyenoord knocking out Inter?
5%.
5%. If it was Arteta, he'd be try for.
We have injuries. We have a lot of injuries. So.
Okay. Yeah, I do think, by the way, if Arteta had done what Slot did, some pundits in the media would have a very different approach to this. Amorim ain't 18, by the way. He's 20 next month. This is very true. I bet Hussam Arsenal beat Madrid at home.
No, they will not. You will not beat Madrid at home or away.
Wow. Wild talk from Hussam gives me hope as a gooner, is what's
good. I needed to have hope so you can cry on the night.
Arrogant Hussam moving wild. The man is rattled. That's what he
I'm
said
not
here.
rattled at all. You know, if you beat Madrid anyway, we're gonna slap you in the semis. That's not gonna happen.
There we go. Look, gentlemen, I want to thank you both for coming on the show today. We'll have to touch viewers on the top 6 show about the injury crisis at Newcastle. We ran out of time today. This is going to redirect you to Mo's watch along. So go and watch his team and him in the Champions League right now. And hopefully they get dunked on and you guys can watch him have a meltdown. It would be brilliant. So go across and support. We're live tonight after PSG versus Liverpool. So make sure you're all back here on the Football Terrace to review that game. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And hang on, let me make sure that's redirected. It is. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.